Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lost in the Real, and we are going to be doing a very special segment that we are going to be doing every week. It is called the Throwback. We are going to be revisiting films that we either loved, hated, had any kind of feelings about back in the day, and we are going to talk about how we feel about them now. This is the Throwback. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on Lost in the Real. This is the Throwback, and this is Sean. And I'm so excited to introduce our new co host.
I'm John. Hello, everyone. I've been friends with Sean for about 15 years, give or take. We've been done some drama, and I guess had some drama along those years too. But we've always stayed friends, and I'm so grateful to be here on this special opportunity with him. So thank you for having me, Sean.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited to have you here. You are one of the movie lovers in my life, and this is exciting. So let's get started with our first film that we're going to be going over today with the throwback. It is Waterworld from 1995. This film was directed by Kevin Reynolds and written by Peter Rader and David Twohy. David Twohy, and I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but that's okay. He actually wrote The Fugitive and all of the Riddick films. So Pitch Black and Riddick and the Chronicles of Riddick. And so it's an interesting kind of crew behind this film. And it's about a future where the polar ice caps have melted and Earth has basically gone into a submerged Mad Max type situation with water, and we have a mutated mariner who fights starvation and outlaw smokers while reluctantly helping a woman and a girl try to find dry land. And it stars Kevin Costner, Jeanne Tripplehorn, Dennis Hopper, and Tina Majorino. So, what did you think about this film when you were younger?
Well, I was definitely a fan of Waterworld. I was never exactly a huge Kevin Costner follower, nor was I, necessarily a junkie for post-apocalyptic films. But it's a definitely interesting subject for movies. As you mentioned, Waterworld is basically Mad Max on water. The screenplay was written, I think, a year or two after Mad Max hit theaters back in 1986 is when it was first written, of course, released in 1994, and it definitely captures that Hollywood classic magic. It has real sets and real props, real action. Kevin Costner isn't necessarily the best actor, but he's definitely badass, and he does all some great stunts. And it was just a great ride altogether back then and now, I'd say.
Yeah, I did not like this movie when I first saw it, and I was excited about it, like super like psyched about it because I had gone to Universal Studios, saw the whole production where they kind of recreate like one of those major action sequences, and then I was like, oh, that was so cool. And my parents were like, oh, this is actually a movie. So then I went to watch the movie and I didn't like it as much. But it still, I definitely remembered it. It wasn't forgettable. It was like a memorable film.
It's definitely memorable. It's a unique film where someone had a vision, although that vision may not have been unique. It was definitely a labor of love, you could tell, and I could see how it, would make a great a theme park ride. Unfortunately, it's one of the few ones where the ride is more exciting than the movie. But the movie's also pretty funny at times. Dennis Hopper is a great villain. He really hammed it up. Had a lot of great performance pieces there, and of course.
Now, there may be some small problem in depth perception.
Well, it better not screw up my short game.
Well?
Looks good.
I like it, yeah. Nice. Yes, I like it better than you realize.
Much better.
There, and of course, some ridiculous one-liners. Like there's this one part towards the beginning when they're escaping from the atoll, the collection of, the fortification that they have at the beginning where the mariner gets captured. And there's this bad guy on a Gatling gun, and he's gonna go and like shoot their ship where the other bad guy is on accident. And they're like yelling, Chuck, stop! And he literally yells, maybe he doesn't respond to Chuck. Maybe he responds to Charles. Try Charles. And and I just love how they decided to give that little henchman a name like that, Charles. And then Dennis Hopper goes, adios, cousins, and jumps out of the boat right before it explodes. And it is just, I literally laughed out loud, So I like movies that are serious to their theme, and they actually had something they were going for, but they weren't afraid to have some fun and just make it a good time. So that's important for a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. This movie does not take itself too seriously, and I feel like it's kind of gotten a bad rap throughout the years. Like they're like, oh, Waterworld, it failed or whatever, and yeah, it was like a super expensive movie, but it's also like the sets, the practical effects, the action, the storyline. It's just it's so exciting, and I didn't like it before, but I really, really like it now.
Yeah. Well, as an adult, you can look into and appreciate the world building, the practical sets that were actually built out on the ocean, not on a sound stage. So multiple times the atoll and just started drifting out to sea. And there's just so many things in production that made it go so wrong, yet they still made the movie work. Like towards the beginning when he's going out, and there's that badass like Captain Jack Sparrow sort of scene when he's on top of the mast, and they pan out. Which, by the way, the cinematography in the movie is amazing. The cinematographer has also done so much stuff in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. He did Maleficent, a bunch of stuff. But Kevin Costner was strapped into the mast during that scene, and the ship got lost, and they had to send out some guys on jet skis to go corral it in. And when they got to Kevin Costner, he was out there for like 20 minutes. He was throwing up all over himself, the poor guy. But he was dedicated to the movie, I guess. So, it was all worth it in the end. Actually, I don't know if they did end up making back their money altogether. Probably not in theaters.
I mean, maybe now, later on,
now, but
hopefully they have, because this movie is absolutely worth rechecking out, because I feel like people need to rewatch this because this is a really cool, kind of badass movie. So
absolutely, all the little pieces, make it come together, and parts definitely reminded me of other movies. The story of the Mariner, the Loner, kind of reminds me of Riddick from Chronicles of Riddick, which, as you said, is written by the same guy. So see, there was a lot of different moving parts in there, and I think they all came together and worked pretty well. So overall, I liked it. So what would you rate this movie, Sean? I don't know. I was thinking in the movie they pay for things with jars of dirt. So how many jars of dirt do you think this movie's worth?
I would love to give this film 4 out of 5 jars of dirt. I think this is such a misunderstood film, and it just does such great world building, and it's fun. I wish we had more Waterworld, honestly. I would do with some sequels or whatnot. Like, this is just such a fun movie, and people should rewatch it.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I know, how many times can I say classic Hollywood, practical effects, can't get enough of that. I would love Waterworld 2, maybe the little girl has become evil and she's the dictator of the island now, or I don't know, probably not, but but I would definitely also give it four jars of dirt. That was a fun ride.
Definitely. So on to the next one.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on this very special first episode of The Throwback. I look forward to throwing it back with Sean, however many times he'd like me to join him again on this channel. I love talking about movies, and I love talking with Sean. So make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about these movies down below, and let us know how wrong you think I am about everything I said. That's quite all.
So next week, I would love to do The Mask with Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz, and that classic film, The Princess Bride, that a lot of people love. But I am excited.
But we'll talk about that next week. Thank you very much again for this opportunity, Sean. Look forward to joining you soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Please, once again, comment down below. Let us know what you think. We love you, and we will see you soon.